All right, welcome back. As you can see, we're in the truck shop. It's been so long. It has been so very long. As you can see, it's just very full of stuff. The most notable thing is this wood. And you might be wondering why. Well, if you have been here for a while and still are here, you'll remember that I talked about a project involving this mattress, and that mattress is going to go up there. That is our loft bed project. That's been in pretty much my plans for almost since the beginning of the truck. It's been there quite a while, but yeah, here we are in the truck. You see S1000 is here. It is still obviously with me. It's just been sitting in storage for pretty much for the majority of my winter season. Like, it's been that bad, but yeah, I'm just not riding it because, again, the issue with the transmission and such too. But yeah, you can tell I've got a bunch of stuff bagged in here. It's mainly because we're going to be using this for transport in the next few months, so I'm getting it all fixed up like I originally planned, and it's gonna be good. One notable thing, so this light, I originally had tapped into the two wire, the positive and the negative that were up there for the little light bulb, but that only worked when the door was open. So unfortunately, I had to leave the door open, and that incessant like buzzing noise when the door is open is always on. So I couldn't deal with it anymore, and I was like, okay, let's try and find something else. Couldn't figure out something else just yet, but I got this really jank setup. I literally just wrapped the wires around the positive and the negative of the battery, and I mean, it works. It works. Like, the battery, I mean, not the battery, but the lights, they don't draw that much power, so it's really not that bad. But that's basically the idea once we get a power supply and the whole power system going. So doing some work today. I'm gonna try and get some parts of the loft done. I know I've got a lot of shit in here, but I need to get it done so that I can move this up there, and then it's out of the way, and I have more storage space so I can put stuff on top of it. That's pretty much the idea. So we got 3 2x6s, which are 8 feet. We got 6 2x4s, and these 2x6s are for the frame, so they're the parts, the outside parts of the frame, and the 2x4s are the pretty much bed supports that are going to go on joist hangers. And those joist hangers are here. They're just hanging in there. You can also see that I've got some insulation, some rigid insulation. It's R3. It's nothing special. It's 1/2 inch rigid insulation. I wanted to get some of that put in, start getting the box all insulated so that it's not as cold or hot in here, so it could be climate controlled. But can't really do that with all the stuff in the way, so we're gonna be moving some stuff out just so we can make this work a little easier. Pretty much gonna be here all day, so yeah, let's get to work. We're gonna start moving some stuff. Gotta take the bike out because it's in the way. I wanted to start with the side walls just because they're gonna be easier to do first, and then we'll do the back wall one. And yeah, all right, so it's been quite a little bit. I can't remember when I started with this work, but as you can see, we're a little more cluttered. This piece is off of the wall. I started with the bed. I made the cuts on the wood on the 2x6s. I realized that it may have messed up cutting one of them, but it's okay. We're gonna improvise, figure that out. But I decided as I got the first board up there, I was like, oh, well, I can't, it's a little harder to get the insulation through, because I originally was planning on just, you know, sliding it through here, but it didn't want to slide through. Like, it just kept binding on both of these, and it just wasn't ideal. So I decided, you know what, kept going through the motions. I was like, okay, well, I can just cut these up and toss them in. But then, you know, because they're 1/2 inch and the gap between is like 1.5 inches, they might stack up and I'd just be a waste of money. And I was like, oh, I could just spray foam, but then I already have the rigid, and it's not necessary. So I figured I may as well get one off, and actually having one off is more than enough to get them in there. Yes, they're not perfect. I'm kind of eyeballing the cuts, but I think it'll be more than enough, because weirdly enough, being up as I was like putting them in, it felt like it was already like insulated, you know what I mean? It was doing its job. Like, it felt warmer as I was doing it. I don't know, and I'm not like hot or sweaty, so it's not that. It's just, it genuinely feels like I'm making progress. So darn it. So this I had to cut because I originally had an issue where I was like trying to get this off, and I was like, oh, well, I can't take these off because there's bolts behind this board on that side and on that side. So I was like, you know what, to make it easier and so it's not as heavy, I'm gonna cut it into pretty much smaller pieces, just to make sure that it's, you know, easier to manage, and I don't have to take this heavy ass board off every single time, because we also have the ones on this side. So I'm just going to take the ones off the bottom, and then I'm going to slide them up in, and yeah, because these are 2 full ones. This one is like half. This was the first one I did, so I was kind of experimenting, but it's working. And that's pretty much it. We're going to continue. I'm going to get the last slot in, and I'm going to put the board back up, and then we can put our 2x6 back on the wall, because yeah. Also, you can see that there is holes here, because I didn't necessarily miscalculate, but the screws are actually a lot longer than I expected. Like, as I was looking through the screws, I was like, huh, well, I need to make sure this, you know, it's big enough to go through the 2x6 and this wood and the metal. So I decided, well, we'll get like 4-inch screws. These are structural screws. They're 5/16, and they're 4 inches long, and a little too long, but it's okay. I'm just gonna patch the holes because they're gonna be like all around this side. It's the same thing that happened when I put up this shelf. I used a screw that was a little too long, punctured the box, but it was whatever. I just gotta see how much is sticking out on the other side, and then we'll just kind of like seal around each screw. So yeah, anyways, I'm gonna get back to it. All right, as you can see, the wood here is gone. It's because we got it back up, and you can see the insulation behind there. We got this section done. As I said, it feels honestly better over here. Like, it doesn't feel as cold. Even though I have the back like way open, it's not that bad. As you can see, we've got 2 structural screws in each post, and they are coming out of the other side of the box. So at some point when I get some, I think I have some actually somewhere around here, some extra caulking, I'm gonna go on the outside, and it's only gonna be on the sides because they're only poking out on the sides, but each one's poking out. So we'll get some caulking, bring the ladder out, go around those, cover them up, and then we'll be good. Now I'm going to shift this stuff over to this side so that I can get to this side. And I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut this end, maybe, or just to be safe, I might cut here, because I don't know if this will just like come off the wall. We don't want that. So just to keep that structural integrity, we're gonna cut this side. We're taking these screws, these hooks out anyways, because we're gonna move the bike because it will be in the way of the bed. Like, it'll literally not be able to go up there. So we're gonna move it most likely over here, and then yeah, we're also obviously gonna take this down. I think I'm gonna put this in sections too, and then yeah, we'll be good. So we're gonna go this side going, and we'll get to it. All right, so as you can see, we're on the other side now, and it's open, very, very open. That's because I had to cut and cut, just so I didn't like compromise the structural integrity of this. Yeah, there it is. We're gonna cut up the insulation now, slot it in, and put the wood back up. So gonna get to it. Alrighty, well, as you can see, I got the wood back on and the insulation in. The only little questionable one is this one, but honestly I don't think it's that bad, because this one was kind of cut in half, so it would have been even harder to get in there than that one was. Jeez, yeah. It's a lot easier to get in one piece when the whole thing is accessible. Like, when it's partially accessible, it's almost impossible, because like these I have to pull, and then it, like, again, it binds on just about everything, the wood and the metal at the same time, and it just doesn't flex where it needs to, and then it just breaks, and then I gotta tape it together and hope I just, you know, don't lose it down there and stuff like that. But it is feeling warmer around in this specific area. I will say that it is feeling much warmer, so that's good. I think it is doing its job. I know it's maybe a little extra, but it is what it is. So this front part I wanted to do as well. I think I can get them up in these slots, considering I've already gotten rid of this wood. Actually, I think it's I still have the wood in the truck. It's over there behind the bed. I forgot I had it in here still. I was like, well, I could still repurpose it, you know, and use it for something. That's why I still have it. So anyways, next we've got 3 full pieces of insulation left, and then some scraps or some extra bits that we'll probably use for the front here, and then that's about it. That is about it. I do have a can of spray foam as well, just for like little pockets and like areas that I can't get to, or you know, that are difficult to sort of, you know, insulate. But we'll see how I want to use it. But other than that, I think next is just this. Oh, I gotta get the 2x6 up. So I'm kind of bouncing between projects here. I'm doing two things at once. I have to get the insulation done before I can put up any of the boards and the frame, so that's what we're doing. I'm gonna see if I can't get some insulation up into this area here, and then we'll see about getting the rest of the bed done. All right, now as you can see, we've got the other side done, and ooh, it was not difficult, but took a little second, a little hot second to get it up there, but we got it. So I'm just trying to organize. I don't have a like freaking table area or things to set things down on, obviously, because we're kind of in storage mode and transit mode, but storage mode at the moment. What we are currently doing is trying to get insulation in these slots, so that's what we're gonna do now. The front is done. It's not perfect by any means, but it'll do, because again, it wasn't meant to be, well, yeah, it wasn't meant to be perfect, because I mean, the kind of state we're in right now makes it a little hard to be perfect, but so long as the insulation is there, it'll do enough. It's only still cold in here because, you know, it's open right now, but now I'm gonna get the 2x6 up on this side, and I think that's gonna be it for today, because we've done quite a bit and my batteries are dying, so it's not ideal. We should get home, get some food in us, rest up, and yeah, we'll come back to this tomorrow, because I'm sure I can get the rest of this done. No problem. There's a chance I also want to leave it till tomorrow just because there's a chance that I may need to buy another 2x6 just because. So the issue was I originally wanted to I made it so that these 2x6s go directly to the wall, right? So they are up against the wall, and I did that because I didn't want to have to deal with trying to get the 2x6 in between the wall, like sideways, if that makes sense, like struggling there. And then I figured it would also give these sides like more rigidity, because if the like load is here and it's made like in a way pulling on the sides, right, it should give it some more stability holding them in place, even though, you know, the structural screws are in place, and it should be able to literally hang it off of these, no problem. With that being said, I also will take that time tomorrow to grab some more caulking, because I think I might be out. I'm not quite sure. Let's have a gander. I know I've got a partial tube at home. I've got some here, but I don't know. It's probably frozen, so best not to take that chance. I'll grab I'll see how much I have in the one at home, and then we'll go from there based on whether we need another one or not. So anyways, we got this whole front end. Honestly, I want to believe that this is going to be a lot warmer after I close this and come back tomorrow. Like, damn. I'm happy we're getting the insulation in there. Honestly, it's been so long, you know, just wanted to get this done. We're gonna put up this 2x6 and I'll get back to you when I'm done. All right, so I got this up. I'm about to just put two holding screws in there. Again, there was a bit of a flaw with my design. Unfortunately, I cut the 2x6 in half, and now it's short on both sides, like an inch. But it's okay. We're gonna work around it. I think I've figured out like a new compromise. I'm gonna get a new 2x6 just for the end, and then we'll go about figuring out how we are going to mock it all up, because I have an idea. I just need to make sure it works, and then we'll go from there. Hopefully it works. It should work, hopefully. I'm gonna leave it here. I'll get out of here. I gotta go, so I'm gonna get some food. As usual, I appreciate you guys for hanging out, and I'm done.